I saw you being very emotional when you handed over the keys in Mukuru. It's probably one of the, to quote your words, you said, in your adult life and in your political life, it was the most consequential day of your life. I want you to kick us off by really just rehashing why that moment, Your Excellency, was the most consequential moment of your political and adult life.
Thank you very much, Charles. Good morning, everybody. Oh, sorry. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And welcome to this session. And my friends here, karibuni sana. As I said at that moment, and I mean it, that this is a journey that we have been engaged in as a nation. This journey we started at independence when we passed the first law on housing. It is at that moment that other countries passed the law on housing. Many countries have made huge progress. Singapore, Malaysia, other countries have made huge progress. We didn't make as much progress as a country. We have, successive governments have tried to implement this housing program. We went through different phases. We called it at some point slum upgrading, to try and deal with this challenge. We tried, and we were not very successful as a country. I remember when, as deputy president, we tried as the Jubilee administration, part of our Big Four program was housing. And you remember, Charles, that my predecessor, President Uhuru Kenyatta, told me, I have a very good professional in South Africa. And you remember we came for you from South Africa.
Correct.
You had a good job. But we told you, you have a country called Kenya, which is your home. And you were kind enough to leave the job you had, much more paying than what we were paying you, but for country, you came and joined us. And we tried then to get this program underway, but again, we weren't very successful. When I got the opportunity and the chance and the privilege to be president, I said, this is one thing amongst the many things I want to do. And because it is the right thing to do. We have said here, I've heard the country director talk of World Bank. And all the statistics point to a future that is urban. And we have no choice about that future being urban. But we have a choice on what type of urban future we are going to have. Are people going to live in informal settlements? Are they going to live in slums? Or they are going to live in planned, dignified shelter that has dignity? And so, because Kenya is urbanizing, we've just been told by the country director of the World Bank, among the highest in the world, 4.3%. 50% of our population will be living in urban centers by 2050. Maybe 30, maybe 35 million Kenyans, maybe 40 million Kenyans will be living in urban centers by 2050. And many people ask me, who told you that Kenyans need houses? Why are you pushing this agenda of housing? Maybe you are pushing it for other reasons. But I have a simple answer. The answers, the statistics answer them. Kenya is urbanizing, the highest rate, some of the highest rates in the world. We will have 30, 40 million people living in urban centers. If we don't plan about it, we will be living in squalor as many of our citizens are doing. Secondly, you have citizens that are living in subhuman conditions today. Go to any informal settlement. Mukuru, Soweto, the famous Kibra, just outside this hotel here, Karagita, just here, you have 10,000 people living in a small place. Go down to Molo. I was in Molo and I felt very bad. You have close to 10,000 people living in a small place. You have children staying in little houses with their parents. We had a confession from Kibra. It is the same in Kasarani right here, where kids, 10-year-old kids, are introduced to sex because they live in the same room with their parents. Those are the people who are firing my desire to drive this housing agenda, because those kids deserve better than we are giving them today. Those people in informal settlements deserve better from a government. And that is why you asked me about the consequence of my statement. That is why when I handed over the first keys on this program to my dear sister here, Jerusha, I said it and I meant it. It was actually the most consequential day in my political career, because we started to change the trajectory on how Kenyans live. And so that's why this moment is very important. And that's why I'm very proud that we are making these steps. And I must say, all the people who have talked before me, I listened to Susan Kehika. My dear sister, you made the statement I would have made. The understanding, I am very happy that from Susan to my CS to the country director, everybody, we are all appreciating what this is all about, And therefore, this is a very important occasion for me and for us as a nation. And the progress we are making in this space speaks volumes about the kind of future we expect.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We shall revisit some of those aspects very shortly. But Your Excellency, in this country, we've had